Hey, welcome to this new channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. Now, if you don't know, you are in for a bit of a ride here because we are looking at every single game as much as YouTube will allow us. And we're going to analyze every game from 1993 up to the current day, which will be 2025. Literally going through as many games as possible, starting with 1993, doing it all in order. And we're starting with the Foster's Cup. We did the state game in the last game. We're going to the Foster's Cup now, the first round of 1993. Between Richmond and Sydney, we're in the middle of fucking New South Wales, the middle of nowhere, as you can see with the trees in the background. And these are the two worst teams of 1993. But we'll look at all the best bits, the funny bits, and we'll analyze the game. And I hope that you've subscribed, and we'll see you right now. Look, the game's a bit scrappy, but these guys are trying hard, even though it's not even the season yet. And the reason for that is because there's prize money if you win the Foster's Cup, but also just a bit of pride in actually wanting to win every game that you play in. Look, the Sydney Swans were shit in 1993, literally the one win for the season, but they're having a crack. And they get the first goal.
To the Lavington Sports Ground.
A courageous mark from Dale Lewis.
Free kick from just behind the centre circle. And a
great mark. Now, if you remember, Dale Lewis was famous because he came out publicly and basically said that 75% of all AFL players would be taking illicit drugs, and a lot of people thought he was full of shit, but ultimately it almost ended up being true, right? Now, just with this game here, Richmond and Sydney, the score doesn't matter. I mean, Richmond's going to flog them by 80 points, move on to the next round. Sydney's going to lose. We're basically just looking at the funniest bits and the best bits of the game. The score is not important. Back in the days when you could be as deliberate as you like. Look at that. And a throw-in. Awesome. It's got Mark Bays with a very shitty kick out here. Holds the ball up to say he's going long. Straight to Campbell. There's no one even there for Sydney. And bangs it through for a nice goal. Have a look at this. The first pre-season game. Look at the tackling here. They're taking this seriously. Maxfield, who would go and play for Sydney, gang tackled. And Stuart Maxfield, great clearance. And you probably won't know who half of these players are. This is Herniman. With a nice little kick here, like Buddha Hocking style, straight to Hogg, who would end up leaving Richmond at the end of the season. So Mark Bays fucked up his last kick from 50 metres. Now look at this. Bangs the drop punt, 50 metres again, and hits Lewis lace out this time. So, luck of the draw for Bays. Nice little goal from Darren Creswell. Beautiful snap. Bays again trying to take mark in the century, but unfortunately just looks like a total clown. Richmond's showing glimpses here from the back line. Have a look at this. Sydney Swans nowhere to be seen. Francis, don't know who the fuck you are. But a nice little kick to Stevan Jackson. Players you've never heard of. Richmond were completely shit, but at least having a go today.
Pretty good so far, Jackson. Maybe just outside.
And Stevan Jackson kicks it from 50 on the angle. That's a sensational kick.
No, it's a beautiful kick.
Bangs it through. And again, just showing how seriously they're taking this first pre-season game. Barry Young, the enforcer for Essendon. Have a look at this. Handballs over the top. And then fucking bang. What the hell? That's crazy. We haven't even started the season yet. Richmond trying to soccer a goal here. Nice handball there. Ronaldo hits the post. Nice bit of running from Richmond. The reason that I'm showing their running game is because they played so shit during the year. And they did pretty well in the Foster's Cup, only to get poleaxed by the Crows in the first round, and they were terrible in that game. We'll cover that one. But good to see them actually playing well. Richmond again having a crack. We've got Bullis, who played for the stateside. And a great mark to Steve McQueen. Well, Sydney was such a slow-moving team. Literally just one win for the season. But somehow they get through here. Jason Daniels, the worst kicker of all time. And a guy called Considine slams it in on the left. And Sydney get a goal. Have a look at this attempt by Werner. Doesn't take the mark, gets cleaned up by Howard. The umpire says, I don't give a fuck, play on. Now Wayne Campbell, the king of getting the ball onto his boot. Bays gets the worst bounce of all time, and Hogg capitalises with an easy goal in his kick 4. Have a look at this. This would have been one of the marks of the year had he taken this. Oh, that would have been a beauty. And some great run from Craig Lambert, who played for the Brisbane Bears. Kicks it on his wrong side, and a great mark there.
Excellent mark.
McQueen.
Has he had a corner?
And another great contested mark here from Strooper this time for Sydney.
Half-time. We've got a
Now look, back in the 90s when you had shitty club rooms, it was worth getting some money to put towards the club. So everyone was taking the Foster's Cup and the Ansett Cup and the NAB Cup quite seriously. Now, if you win the grand final this year, you get $55,000 on top of all the other winnings as well. So in total, as a team, you'd get $104,000, which wasn't too bad for 1993. Now, having a look at the betting for the year to see who they thought would win the premiership, Hawthorn were the favourites, which was weird because Dermot Brereton ended up going to Sydney. Essendon were the premiers, and if you bet on them at 14-1, you'd probably get a decent return.
Goes down the ground.
Have a look at this. Another sensational mark by Steve McQueen here. Look at that. He didn't do much with his career, but he's not too bad. Tony Free gets elbowed in the head by some dipshit called Stevens. And we're seeing some great marking from Richmond today. Here they go again. Dale Waitman also isn't playing, by the way. Terrific marks. Stavan Jackson.
Gee, they've got a mighty marking.
And once again, Richmond continue with their awesome marking. And have a look at that kick from Maxfield. And Stavan Jackson, a one-hander if you don't mind. It's a shame that Richmond was so shit this year because they've got some talent when they want to turn it on. Got some really shitty defending here. Didn't need to do that. And Stavan Jackson plays on and kicks his fourth for the quarter. Exciting stuff. Now, a lot of these players, you won't know who they are. It was a long, long time ago. They're shitty teams. But if you follow this channel, that will actually mean something to you as we go on. And Mark Bayes kicking in again with a beautiful long kick. And another great mark from Sydney. Strooper again. Look, just a minor thing here, but have a look at this. From the square, goes for a torpedo. Clears the 50-metre line practically to the centre. What a long kick that was. This guy needed a bit of Darren Jarman magic. Unfortunately, doesn't know how to snap it. And drop punts it straight out of bounds on the full. Got more marking magic from Richmond. That's a nice one-hander by Howard. And a terrific, courageous mark by Dale Lewis for Sydney. Wayne Campbell, one of the greats of the Richmond Footy Club, played a lot of years. I think he retired in 2008. A beautiful stab pass to McQueen there. Bit of a scuffle here, and of course Barry Young's involved. Creswell didn't like it. No, it's not Creswell. I don't even know who that is. Nettlebeck, possibly, played for Melbourne. So the boys are getting into it in the pre-season. It's like in the middle of February, it's probably like 40 degrees. Going to see some shitty defending here from Sydney. How does a full forward manage to infiltrate the contest? Where's the full back? And that was Stavan Jackson, who is just quietly kicking 7 goals for the match, if you don't mind. And we've got John Northey looking like he's auditioning for Weekend at Bernie's. We are seeing an exhibition of marking today. Tony Free with a nice long kick and a great mark to Jeff Hogg. Not sure why they got rid of him at the end of this season, possibly because Richo was coming up. We're going to see Darren Kapler, who for some reason, there's a whole bunch of chairs here. Like, how dangerous is that? And Kapler goes flying right into him. And Robbo not happy.
Really, if you're going to be shepherded, don't just dodge the issue.
Well, he just stopped completely, didn't he?
Terrible,
you're right.
Jesus Christ.
Francis is a player like that just...
These two are still carrying on.
The tackler, or the shepherd came at him, he just stopped. He was not interested in chasing or making a contact.
And they've just missed calling an awesome mark once again by Steve McQueen because they're bickering about some shepherd. Going to see some weirdo in the crowd here. She looks a bit mentally ill. Well, I mean, she follows Richmond, so. I'll tell you what, this guy Strooper for Sydney wasn't too bad. Like, he had some decent marking abilities. And here he is again. For some reason, Sydney just couldn't put it together. Only 1 win for the season. Good contest. Francis getting crunched in the ribs by Sydney player Stevens, I think it was. And a notable absentee today, Matthew Knight's not playing in this game. I love Stuart Maxfield. He's one of my favourite players for Richmond and Sydney. Have a look at this. Just wanted the ball more. And on his right foot, if you don't mind. And this guy McQueen having an awesome game. And we're going to see a nice little dinky goal out of nowhere. Don't even know who it was. Might have been Patura. Bannock, whoever the fuck that is. Nice running goal from Wayne Campbell.
Has a bit of a dip at centre half back. This guy loves.
Look at that, has 2 bounces.
Campbell have another bounce.
Like Phil Manassa drills it in. A very bizarre play here by Dale Lewis.
High ball goes
takes
over
the mark,
centre.
and then just
And Lewis takes an uncontested
whatever
mark.
the fuck that was.
Passes around the neck.
Now, look, if you follow this channel, I think you'll really enjoy this journey as we go through literally every game possible that we can. And if we can't play the full game, we'll definitely go into bits and pieces like highlights. What have I done here? Different highlights, and also different parts of the game that we can't show if it's not the full game. For all the uncensored, awesome content, go to Patreon hotkey, and you'll be able to see that. And look, like I said, this is just starting a new channel. We're going through every game possible. Let me know your thoughts below and subscribe if you haven't already. See you in the next video.